I see emojis.
What up, everybody?
What's up?
What's up?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
What's going
Oh my
on?
gosh. It's
Welcome,
Tuesday.
welcome.
Everybody, welcome to Singles Night.
Woo!
This is Transformation Tuesday. You know, I'm not going to say Bible study, but it's, it's our Transformation Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this night, we're taking it over.
Yeah.
As the
Yes.
singles as we are. You know? So what the wonderful thing is, this month, our pastor has started a new message series called the Relationship Playbook.
Yes.
And so he is going to take the daunting task of preaching about relationships. All in the
Yeah.
shortest month of the year.
The shortest month of the year.
February. So I'm so excited that you're going to experience, on some of the Tuesday nights, it's us tonight, but then also the following Tuesday, it's going to be the couples. And the couples are going to talk about all of the stuff that goes on with them and what's in their playbook and what is going on with them. But tonight is our night to talk about our playbook of relationships
playbook.
and all of the above and woes of being single and all of the above.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I also want to put this out there that you can find any one of us on IG if you look. But that's so funny. I'm just leave that alone. I want to do really quickly, I want to recap some of the message on last Sunday that I thought was really good. He was talking about the origins of relationships. And I think one of the things that was kind of really good about that was saying that, not only I think he came about it in a different, well, not a different way, but it's an interesting take on the fact that God is love.
Yeah.
And so, if you want to kind of know how love is, see how God is and the Trinity is and how they work together and understanding that that's how we interact in our relationships and things like that. What were some of y'all takeaways from the message from yesterday that I thought it was pretty good? Because one of the biggest things that stood for me was communication and how they know their roles and they communicate with one another. And so the Creator has created relationships and things like that so that we can understand how we got to go about our, with our interactions and things like that. What's some of y'all takeaways that y'all had?
For me, definitely communication, because I'm big on communication. It took me a while to learn how to communicate effectively. But communication, and then the other thing he said about humility and saying how a lot of relationships don't last because we're not humble enough. Now, just me. I just know for me personally that I have a couple of. He's still working on me. Let me just put it like that. That humility, where because I just know that when you get on my nerves, you ain't cut that many chances. Okay, it's about time to go. Okay, adios.
Yeah, no, I feel that. He said to be humble.
Humble.
One thing he said, it was funny, but it's so true how in this day and age it's all about my happiness, and that's the phrase. It's my happiness. My happiness is all about me, and it's just you just kind of roll your eyes because it's like realize just how selfish we are. It's just like we want relationships so bad, but it's just like we're not willing to do the work, like the depth that it requires to serve one another. You know what I'm saying? So you go in talking about I want this for my happiness, but it's just like you're not willing to sacrifice, you're not willing to serve, you're not willing to do all these things. So it's just like begs the question, like how badly do you really want to be in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? Like you got to really see, do I really want my happiness? You know what I'm saying? Or it's just like and being able to sacrifice that for the joint happiness, for the joint satisfaction, fulfillment, all of that, But I do see that in culture a lot. It's me, my, satisfaction, all of that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what's causing relationships to just kind of sink. You know what I'm saying? So.
I agree. Absolutely. For me, it's, again, the humility part, because that convicted me so much, because just personally in my personal walk recently, it's just, like, I've been fasting, and fasting is about really humbling yourself, before the Lord, recognizing that, God is there,
Right.
I am here,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it helps me to realize that in relationships, any type of relationships, is that it's not about what I believe that it should be. It's about it's not in the way of where it's my demands. It's like it's humility is just humbling yourself to be able to say like meeting that person where they are,
Right.
and being able to come together for that common goal to
Exactly.
achieve happiness for each other.
Right,
So
right.
that was really definitely personal conviction right there, and helping me to also even go beyond the surface, and also you can get there quickly, especially
Yes.
if you're just talking to someone, and you can really quickly make up your mind on what type of relationship you want to have with certain people.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like
right.
if they're not observant, if they don't listen, the deepest form of humility to me is listening.
That's
like,
good. That's good.
just as much as it is like for God to really want us to listen, because God is always talking. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel as though like if you humble yourself and just really listen, pay attention, be observant, and communicate. It's it's a God is love. It's a two-way street with Him,
Right.
and with us. So
Right.
that definitely convicted me to a higher place to be like, you know what? I know what I'm going to take into the next relationship, whether it's platonic or if it's romantic, whatever it is.
Well, I think you said something there, and with what you just kind of mentioned, and what I really want to go into because of
Go
what you
ahead,
just
jump
said.
right in there.
Now, with that being said, we understand that was the real powerful point about that humility. That humility piece is very true. So my thing about that is, what have we learned from, I guess, our past situationships that would make us, because we're single, I was about to say ready to mingle, but I don't know. I don't know.
We didn't give a disclaimer.
I don't know.
Children?
No disclaimers in this place. Yeah, but
We're gonna
disclaimers. It's going to be PG-13 somewhat. But hey, don't worry about it, because you're going to get great information here tonight that you don't want them to get from nowhere else.
Yes.
But my thing is this, with just being single and still trying to possibly still court people or talk to people, I want us to kind of think about what is it that we've kind of gotten out of some of our past situations and some of our other relationships that has either made us like I'm pausing the break, I'm not breaking hard, I'm just slowing up with how I'm moving and how I'm processing, because see, number one, I just learned on Sunday I got to be humble, and so with that being said, what are you doing, Mister? What are you doing? What are you doing, ma'am? Where are you at? Because I have been in some situations. I'm not going to say relationships; they were all situational, and I wanted. I was hoping that they felt the same way about me, as I did about them. So I did things, and we went places and things like that, and all the above, and then you find yourself being used. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. And so what I got out of the situation was, like, in certain aspects of certain situationships that I was in, is that I don't need to. I'm gonna, or as I was telling y'all before, I was like, I love doing cheap dates. When I say cheap dates, I'm just saying like I like going to different spots, so I'm gonna go to the spots that I want to go to,
Right,
and work it in that way. But I don't need to, I don't need to go over the top, because I gotta see what you really are all about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before I really dive myself way into the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, what were some situations that y'all were thinking about? Like, you know what? Yeah.
I have to agree with you, to be honest. So it's like kind of two pieces to it. So the humility piece, and then the situations that I've been through. So like situationships wise, or just past relationship wise, overly giving, or just like doing and expecting that person to do the same for you.
Right.
It's not always reciprocated. People don't learning that your love language is not that other person's love language.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we're speaking in two different different love
So
languages
true.
and not even
That's
realizing
good.
that
Right.
we're
That's
speaking in two
true.
different love languages. Then I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing all of this for
That's
you,
good.
and you're not doing all of this back for me.
Yeah.
I'm not receiving it back. So then I'm like, okay, so I pull back, or this, that, and the third. Or you end up in a situation where you really are genuinely doing so much for this person, they may necessarily not be all the way in. with you.
Right, yeah, they're
That's
not
good.
in there with you.
Mm-mm. But
They're
the
not.
humility, but the humility piece to it is the other part to it is kind of like all the stuff you see on like social media when you say, oh, I want a 6-figure man, I need him to be making this, I need him to be making that.
Oh yeah.
I've never really been that person that was like, oh yeah, you gotta be doing this, that, and the third. I've never really been that person, but it's easy to watch and see those
Other people.
things
Yeah.
on your feed or just be fed to you, and people are like literally brainwashed
They
by
are,
it,
right.
and then
Yes.
it becomes a thing where they're like, you have to meet this, that, and the third. I'm like, sis, you got that for yourself.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You got that going on for yourself.
And see, and you know what I say about all of that as well too. And who is to say that he would want you? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is to say that he would actually want you? And who is to say that he would want only you? You tell me why, you know what I mean, if I'm supposed to be this high-figured man and I got, 6 figures in the bank, all this other kind of stuff like that, who in the world is to say that you just the prize, like you're the only one who got a BBL. You know what I'm saying?
screaming.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you understand this is Transformation Christian Fellowship. You're going to get transformed here. Oh, we're going to give you all of the real tonight. You know what I'm saying?
You're
and
right.
and you know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that also kills me when we're online and seeing on IG is that, you have those particular standards that you have that, it just seems like crazy, where it's almost like in certain aspects for myself, it's like, well, I haven't seen anything, so I'm chilling on my dating or kind of going about that. Like what's some of your thoughts? E.G.?
I mean, a big thing I see is, like Boomy was talking about communication, like you can make a whole lot of assumptions when you don't ask questions. Well, let's start with asking questions first. Like, there's one thing that I've learned in past situationships, because, I've never been in a serious relationship, but I've had situationships. Asking
Myself as well.
questions and knowing how to ask the right questions, that's a huge, huge skill. It saves you time, you know what I'm saying? And it's sort of like an interrogation. I love crime shows, you know what I'm saying? You got to know how to ask questions. You don't want to ever leave things to assumption, because those assumptions kill you. You know what I'm saying? You let assumptions, she didn't mean that. No, get clarity on what she meant. Get clarity on what he meant by that. You know what I'm saying? Do you want kids? You know what I'm saying? Particularly as believers, do you know Jesus? You know what I'm saying? A big thing for me is doctrine. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you don't understand, like, when certain things aren't communicated can lead to issues down the line. When you don't talk about whether or not you want kids in the beginning, that can lead to fights down the line. You know what I'm saying? Well, I wanted kids. Well, you never said you never said you didn't want kids. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to faith-based, you know what I'm saying? Understanding what we believe. Well, I didn't know you didn't believe this. Well, you didn't say anything in the beginning, right? Well, when it comes to living situations, I don't want to live here. Well, you never said, like, you have to talk about anything you can think about. Ask questions, and so that's the big thing I've learned, like asking the right questions, and asking multiple questions is a skill. You know what I'm saying? It cuts down time. Nobody wants to waste time in relationships and situations where it's leading nowhere. It's not saying that you don't take your time, but if you're wise and you're asking the right questions, you can make decisions quicker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Those are nice, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to be intentional with your time.
Icebreakers.
Icebreakers, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to spend the whole 3 months on icebreakers, you know what I'm saying? As people can be in situationships for like 6 months, and you ask them, so what you know about the person? Well, they like strolls on the beach, They got 2 sisters, you know what I'm saying? They like shrimp scampi. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, like, you don't know anything about this person, but you've been talking to them for like 6 months. Like,
But you gotta follow up though, because he would be
You're right.
fake. He would be
Yeah.
lying.
You do. You have to
Sorry.
follow up.
He will be lying. Okay,
This is
I
our
definitely-
resident. She do background checks.
I know. Right.
She do background checks on
I'll
people,
find
y'all.
out all about
She
you.
will find
I
out
will.
all
Yeah.
about you.
But the
y'all.
thing is that you're never gonna know that I know all of these things about you. I'm just gonna be like, oh my god, when you're telling me, I'm
Right,
like, oh my
right.
god, oh that's so awesome.
Right.
Like it's a surprise. Like I didn't already know, but
Right.
But no, these questions you really have to follow up because I've literally been in a situation where I've asked questions in the beginning or
Right,
whatever,
right.
you know, trying to make sure everything's transparent. Okay,
Right.
I want to know where this is going. This is that and the third. 3 months later, we talk about a whole different side. I say, excuse me, sir, what? I recall that I asked you this question in the past, and that's not what you said the first time.
Right.
So I'm confused. How did we get here?
Right.
How did we get here? I
No,
don't
follow up
know.
important.
And see, and that actually, that's a good note right there. Is that you don't ask the question only one time. You have to do it several
That's good.
different, multiple
That's
times, and see if that is real. You know what I mean? Because in one situationship, and I'm going to define whether.
Okay, I was going to say we're going to
situationship-
ask her a question.
I was going to define that it's not a relationship. We weren't officially boyfriend and
Right,
girlfriend,
right,
but
right.
we were talking and
Right.
talking.
Went on a couple dates.
Went on a couple of dates.
Yeah.
Practically was acting like we were going together, but
Right.
we really were not. That's the whole situationship, you
Right.
know. And so you have to ask it multiple times because I have been in situations where I was talking to somebody and we were sharing and everything was all in common and stuff like that. I thought that we had developed to a spot that see, Brittany, I told everybody online, EP, that you're gonna learn a lot about me while we're on here. That we were talking,
I can
everything
just
was
sit here and
good
smile because
I thought
y'all
that
have the most interesting life. I'm so bored.
As if she don't have,
we're
we're
gonna
going to get
come
to
down
Brittany in
Brittany Street.
we're going to
We're
get to
gonna
Brittany
come down there.
in a couple minutes.
But I was talking to somebody
Yeah,
and
I know.
everything was cool. Everything was all right. Except when we, as we're a few months into everything and we thinking that, we're gonna be, I'm gonna make this official. I'm
Official,
gonna ask
right.
you, to be my, girlfriend and stuff like that. Out of the blue, you go cold.
Ghosting.
Completely ghosting, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like, and what happened to you? And then when I
Was
asked
it
the
something
question,
you said?
no, was it something I said? I didn't know. I didn't know. And then when I try to talk about these things and like, well, we talked about this or we talked about that a
We're
few months
adults
ago,
here.
and it's like, well, that's how I feel, but there was something blah blah blah, or I was like, well, let me make this very clear for you. Understand that this is not happening anymore.
This is where this starts.
This is where this ends.
The train stops
You
here.
know, and that person was just like,
What?
well, how I just am not I'm like, you don't understand. And see, and this is another crucial point for everybody. And this is one of my convictions. And I think this is probably yours. I am not dating if I don't see an end game of marriage.
That's it.
Let us-
Say it for the people out in the back. People
Can
in
we
the
get
back.
some
Comments and likes in the section.
Yeah, because
I know this might not be a very interactive live, but
Dating
this is
for fun.
Singles
Am I getting a
Night.
ring today, or what's happening?
What are you doing? What are we
We
doing?
need to see some
Year?
comments
Let's
and
talk
likes
about
up there in that
You
chat.
know.
I know we're sitting in the background a little bit, but it's okay to let loose a little bit for
Yeah, we can
tonight.
let
Come on,
loose
show
tonight.
some love.
Because
show some love there.
because this is the thing.
Show
I'm
some
not.
love.
I date in the intentions of marriage, and even in that situationship, they do that in week 3 because we had talked for like 4 months or so like that. And you knew that from you knew that from week 3. Like no, I mean, I want to see where this goes because I don't talk to barely nobody.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Unless
right.
I can see an end game of what, this is possibly somebody that might be marriage material. So what do y'all think? Yeah.
Brittany,
Come back to me. I don't want to be
I'll say this.
I've already been there.
Like Boomby said, follow up is important. Like checking in, I know it can seem like overdosing a little bit, like going crazy, but it's just like I'd rather be clear than unclear.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? Like let's set up some weekly check-ins. So what's the temperature? How you feeling me? You feeling me? Like what's going on? Is there anything that you didn't get a chance to say last week that you want to say now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, was there like getting it all out in the open? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we can be passive. We'll let stuff sit. We'll let it fester. We won't talk about it, and then you know what happens? We'll get triggered. Yep. And it just explodes. Yep. But it's just like, because we don't take the time to address it, we overthink in our minds. It's like, and I'm an overthinker, so we like, nah, it's not that important. Like, no, talk about it, address it, have those conversations, because it's those triggers that can get you really messed up and show a side of yourself that's like, whoa, like I wasn't expecting that out of you. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you allow stuff to fester. You know what I'm saying? So let's follow up. Let's continue to have these open conversations. You know what I'm saying? Let's fact check. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Run background checks, as Booby said. Do all of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not the only part of, you know, healthy communication, healthy relationships, but that's a huge part. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think of it like, am I going to spend my life with this person? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to go into an engagement. I don't want to go into an official relationship. I don't want to go into marriage, you know what I'm saying, without us having the very, very difficult conversations. Like, we can skip the romance. You know what I'm saying? We can go on a couple dates, hold on. Hold on. Let me give context. Let me give context before y'all crucify me, all right? What I mean skipping the romance is that I'm not saying exit out completely, you know what I'm saying? But while the time we're talking, let's be more intentional on having those conversations versus getting butterflies and all the, like the romantic dinners and stuff, that's nice. I'm not saying keep that out. You need that, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times in relationships, we focus too much on the feelings and infatuation. Infatuation will lie to you. Infatuation will blind you to the realities to who a person really is. You know what I'm saying? Infatuation will blind you to the red flags. So I'm not saying exit out romance. I'm just saying be on guard and don't allow the butterflies and infatuation to keep you blinded to the reality of who the person is, to who they reveal themselves to be. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it, because I want to really deal with some deal breakers, some red flags.
Oh, okay.
So go for it.
But what was you going to say before that?
No, I was just going to say that, you know, to piggyback off of what you said, that, you know, that is so true. And, like, you know, I personally, like, for situationships, I wish that I wasn't so nervous or so timid to a certain degree to dive deep into a person that I was interested in. Like, yes, we would have things in common, but, you know, it's only but so much of that is going to go so far. You know what I mean? You can't really build a firm foundation with that person if you don't really go in there and ask, like, the real questions. It will save you so much time, so much grief, so much, you know, getting out of that ambiguous kind of situation or that little gray area, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, sometimes, like, it's not necessarily that, you know, I'll just say that some people are just scared, you know. But I've learned, especially with the sermon, that has really helped me with, like, understanding that there is a humanity piece to this, and also you can't be afraid to at least be a level of vulnerability. You know what I mean? You got to be a little bit vulnerable. There's levels to this.
It is.
And I've learned that, especially from the message. There is levels to being a little bit vulnerable. Like, you got to really, you know, ask those questions, you know what I mean? And we can talk about our dear players now.
Can I throw something in there?
Go ahead.
So I have a little curveball, because you said something earlier and I was like, ooh, wait, hold on. I've done that before. Okay, so wait. Okay, just let's hear me out for a second. Is ghosting 100% bad? Okay, wait, listen. Let's just listen. So, if I'm not saying, like, I'm gonna go, like, 6 months dating you and then ghost you.
Right.
But, like, if we talking in a first few months, like, first 3 weeks to, I would say, 5 weeks tops, and I'm just like, yeah, I ain't really feeling you like that, and I just stop replying to you, you should take the hit. I feel like that's good, right? Is that bad?
So,
you raise your hand.
I'm guilty of it. I've done it before.
Listen, I'm not condemning you. what I'm saying is that, like, again, assumptions, you can't leave anything to assumptions. Like, you feel like so and so should be able to pick up on it, but I can speak for guys sometimes. Like, isn't it scientific that y'all mature faster than us?
That's what they say.
So like we sometimes like we'll pick up someone like, she stopped talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe she out of town or something. Like, and especially if you want us to stop talking to you and stop texting you, it'll be best to be like, hey, like, I'm not really feeling you like that.
My ghosting is permanent though. I just won't return. So it's not like
I
don't give a hint. I'm not coming back. It's just not.
Let me ask you this: Why not just be like, hey?
To be nice. That's my nice way of doing it.
But that's a nice way of doing it.
I think maybe we gotta renew our minds and just say it ain't nice. It ain't.
That's not nice.
I think
neither way is nice. If I tell you the truth, you ain't gonna
I'd
like
rather
it.
you. I may not like the truth, but I'd rather you tell me up front. That's how I feel about it. If you just go ghost, if I see you down the hallway or even in my prayers, I may tell God about you. Like, God, I pray that you block anything that comes to.
I'm gonna tell God on you.
Because you ghosted me. You know what I'm saying? But if you come to me respectfully, I'll pray that you
I don't
succeed
want my blessings to be
and
held
prosper.
up.
You know what I'm
To
saying?
be honest.
Or I may see you in the street and I would be like, I don't know. I may just have some negative thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
See,
it's
maybe
just
because
like,
I can't see because I don't be wearing my contacts, so I can't see you in the street. I'm just not gonna see you at all, and that's okay.
She can't even see you guys right now.
Well, I want to say, even in that situation that I was in, and she ghosted, she really technically did not necessarily fully ghost because she still wanted me to still be engaged with her and stuff like that. And I'm like, why in the world would I do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this is not how this is going down because that happens. That happens a lot. And I'm just like, no. It's now you catch Vernon maybe a few, younger years down the, you could have gotten me for another year.
Another year.
But, you know what I'm saying? But still, it's like the whole, I think everybody has to have, I see somebody in the comments saying communication, LOL. So, yeah, I agree. It's still about a level of communication. But I think now that goes to the particular and how far in the dating process or how much were you really going to talk to that person? Because it's cool if she ghosted like that. Because there's, 3-4 weeks?
Yeah, early. I'm gonna do it early. I'm promising.
That's nothing.
I'm promising it's gonna be early.
I feel like for me, I can be
now.
like, I think that's pretty. I think that's.
Okay, what if you don't fully ghost? You just like slowly start declining and just slowly.
Maybe it just depends. I guess it depends on the guy.
It depends on the guy and it depends on the situation.
He's going to definitely know something's up with it.
At some point,
at a timely manner.
Right.
Like if it's going to take me 3 to 4 hours, especially if I never give you a heads up about what I'm getting ready to do or what my what my plans of the day are. If I'm just randomly texting back 3, 4. Maybe the 7 to 10 business days, I'm definitely, you can definitely know that there's something up there. And then you are probably naturally might not even ask. You're just be like, I don't got time for that. I'm not going to be lingering on for that response. I'm going to let that go. She wants to be let go, you're released. And
I just don't think that's the healthiest way of going about it. That's just my thing. You know what I'm saying? I get why people do it, but I just don't think it's healthy for a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you don't want the relationship, so.
But you do. Hey, Poopy's trying to justify.
Oh, Lord.
At that point, you don't want the relationship, so ain't nothing to be healthy about.
No, that's true.
You're right though. It's
Yeah.
communication. You're right. I'm gonna communicate if I like you. Just know that. If I don't like you, ain't no communication.
In relationships, you find out a lot more about yourself.
Right.
You do. And also that changes a little bit on how you move. Now, and then also in who you end up talking to later on. Now, my friends in college, they know about a particular situation.
Brandon, this is getting dark.
I'm trying to figure out who this man is, because I ain't never heard these stories before, okay?
As his sister, it's like it's getting dark.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
I've
gonna be
lived
okay.
through it already,
It's
ladies and
gonna be
gentlemen.
okay.
I've lived
It's
through
gonna
it.
be okay.
But it's okay. It's okay.
It's gonna
We're
be okay.
maturing
It's
to a
all-
higher place
it's-
today.
It's all good.
We're going
So,
to a higher place.
you know, in certain situations where I thought that a person, you know, I just like them because they just look good. You know what I'm saying? And what?
Lord, this is getting dark.
And how do you deal with the fact, like, I know that, you know, I need to ask questions. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I know that, you know, I know what is needed for a marriage or things like that in a person that I am looking for. Now, but in this particular person that I was talking to, I saw some red flags within them, but their looks outweighed their red flags to me at the time.
At the time,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? I thought you were gonna bust out laughing.
No. I knew where you were going.
But I'm asking everybody, how do you deal with those urges of where it's like, you know, I told you, I set the premise up like, number one, I'm only dating for marriage. But what happens, you being single and you tired of being alone? And then on top of that, and the cherry on top is, I love Jesus and I'm a Christian. So I can't be all willy-nilly out here the way that some of my other, you know, colleagues that don't know Jesus be operating. How do we deal with that as being singles, you know? Go for it.
Oh, I
EP.
was going to let y'all say
Always
that.
ushering stuff in.
Listen, I just want to give everybody a fair chance. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
go for it.
Now,
Tell these people in the back.
I'm gonna try and be as transparent, but you know, I am a believer. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna hear
But
about
go
Jesus.
for it real deep because you're an EP.
Okay, I'm gonna go there. So the reality is that I feel like it's definitely a maturity thing. I will say that, like, as you mature in Christ, you never. Well, I'll speak for myself. As you mature in Christ, when it comes to dating, relationships, and marriage, for me, attraction has never lost its value and its importance. Like, I firmly believe that you should be attracted to the person that you're dating,
You're
physically.
right. Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who you marry. You
You're
know what I'm
not getting
saying?
a date.
Now, a lot of people in church, you know, they'll do the whole, you know, you got a purpose and all that. I want my purpose to be attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
we're not just evangelizing. We got to sleep with this person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We got to procreate. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
absolutely.
And I don't want to procreate and enjoy recreation with someone who I'm not physically attracted to.
The lights off.
You know what I'm saying? So attraction has never lost its value and its importance. However, as I've matured in Christ, I've gotten opportunities to see like couples, blessed to be able to see couples who have been married for 40, 51, 60 plus years. And the reality is that looks aren't enough. They're not enough. They're important, but they're not enough. Because even as singles, we live real lives. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We live life just like married people. We go through circumstances and trials just like married people. It hits us differently because of our different contexts, but we go through life. Loss, job loss, you know what I'm saying? Economy, you know what I'm saying? A betrayal. We go through all of these things. And so attraction can't be the only thing. I need to be, what's the biblical term? Equally yoked with somebody who has a strong foundation in their understanding of who God is in their faith, you know what I'm saying? Someone who has learned from circumstances, someone who has a prayer life, amen, like these things that give them substance. Like substance for me, I mean, I feel like substance and attraction are sexy. Like, that's a bomb combination, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just can't be the attraction piece. Can I talk to you? Can we have intellectual conversations? You know what I'm saying? Tell me about your history with God. You know what I'm saying? What has God done for you? What have you learned in the Word? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as you mature in Christ, attraction doesn't become the only important thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we have real lives to live. You know what I'm saying? And when life hits, we can't just run to the bed all the time. You know what I'm saying? We got to actually encounter life head on.
It's
And I
not.
can't do that with someone with no substance.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I'm
not.
saying? So I feel like it's a maturity thing. Like, as you continue to grow, then attraction, like I said, should always hold its value, but substance becomes even more important. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say so the attraction thing, definitely for sure, I completely agree with it, but also I feel like it's more of a woman thing where we have been able, because I even know that I've been attracted to somebody not because of his looks, but more so of who he was.
Right, absolutely.
Because for face value, it's like, you alright. And then you get to know him like, dang.
Right.
You know, the Lord, like we can have intellectual conversations, we're laughing, we can hang out. And then it made him attractive
more,
to me.
right.
Yes. So, but I think that's more of a woman thing, because y'all guys, for the most part, if y'all don't like what you see, it ain't going down.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah,
it's,
we can have the whole Lord and stuff and God and
Yeah.
stuff, but
Well, can I
she
follow
look
up
like
to that?
Lori Harvey or something, somewhere in the IG model, you know.
Can I
model
follow up to
type,
that though?
then it'll be
I
good.
think sometimes too. I think sometimes what we can sometimes discount is everybody got type. Everybody got preference.
That's it.
And so sometimes
I'm an equal opportunity.
we'll be. Sometimes what's not attractive to us isn't necessarily because the person ain't good looking. Maybe they're not attractive because we're sold in on our preference. So, and that's in some cases, not all cases. So you're looking at this person just like, is it sometimes they because they really or is it because they not matching what my preference is? And then as you talk to them, and you're like, oh, we hit on all of these cylinders, and then you start to look at them like, wow, like you weren't my preference, but I'm starting to see that you really are attractive, even though beforehand I really wasn't feeling you like that. So has that been?
no, that's definitely happened.
Okay.
No, I mean, I definitely had a period in my life where I definitely had to change what my preference was.
Okay.
So that happens too, because
Right.
you may have a type, but your type ain't always good for
Woo!
you.
That's a
When
good
you
one
know you
right
have
there.
a goal,
That's
and
a
your
good
goal
one
is
right
to
there.
end up married and to be with somebody who believes the same things that you believe, you gotta start, questioning yourself. Okay, what am I really looking for when
That's
I go
good.
outside?
That's good.
What am I like allowing in my space when I go outside?
Right.
You,
No,
you
that's
gotta
true.
pay attention. Check in with yourself.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I think that's important. You have to check in with yourself.
Right.
And see where you're going with that. I mean, I'll leave that joke alone. But I'm trying to make everybody so comfortable in here. Don't y'all feel good in this living room setting? And so I want to. One of the things that I had really discovered was, in being single, and having this idea that, number one, I'm dating for marriage. I'm not dating just to be dating a whole bunch of people. I don't have. Let me put this preference out there, because I have friends. And they're like, "Oh, Vernon, you just wait till you get your relationship, and you figure out all the blah 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 blah." I'm like, yeah, that's wonderful, that's great. But there is a thing where I can be wise.
Yes.
I can be. The scripture says, "Be not wise in your own eyes." So I can see some of the failures or the reason why you're failing in your particular relationships. I don't have to get into a particular relationship or situation that I know is not good for me.
Exactly.
To prove like, oh, I have experience there, and
That's good.
and I'm gonna, oh yeah, well, oh, I'm not gonna. So I understand. So that I want to put that side note, because if you're single, and you are walking and you're following Christ, don't let your friends pressure you. And I got a whole bunch of friends that are something interesting, but don't let them pressure you, because
That's good.
there's a way that I want to live. You know what I'm saying? There's a preference that I have.
All right.
So I don't need to go out with somebody that I know goodness well I wouldn't actually consider to walk down an aisle with and have life with and all that kind of stuff like that. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I don't have to feel those pressures. I don't have to feel those pressures like, well, because I'm this certain type of age, Oh my gosh! Now you females can speak about that. Or y'all pressures.
I was thinking that when you
with
said that. There's definitely pressures there, especially, well, I think as a whole, like women in general, we have that pressure or that, because if we're not getting it outside, we may sometimes get it at home. I know, being raised in a Nigerian household, that is a big thing culturally in general. After you finish school, where's your husband? Why are you not married? What's going on? Like,
Right.
they're waiting for a wedding, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then it's like there's this whole stigma of not being married before 30, and then
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, okay, well, I want to have my kids before a certain age,
Right.
and stuff like that. But like, you really have to like tell yourself not to rush, and like, I mean, that's honestly like a personal battle you have to deal with,
Absolutely.
because you honestly have to just stop comparing yourself to others. in
Absolutely.
situations,
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be in a situation where you have a kid and then it doesn't work out with that
Right,
person.
yeah.
That sucks. You
Yeah.
know, I have a son, obviously now, and even though me and his father are not together, we have a great co-parent relationship now. It was not always that way. It took some time to get there. But do I want a baby daddy number 2? Absolutely not. We're not going to
Right.
do that. I'm not doing that. Do I want more children? Absolutely. And do I have, like, in my mind, do I have a time limit on myself? Yes. But do I want to rush it and like allow it to happen again and then go through the same thing I've been through already? No, I don't want to do that. So at the end of the day, I think it's just like monitor yourself and then just don't compare yourself to others. You really can't pay attention to what's going on with other people, and then just allow your time to come.
That's good.
Yeah.
Go there. Go there.
All right, I'm trying to operate in wisdom here. Well, I will be honest. I've lost a lot of close friends. And it was really especially like when I decided to take my oath to be out there in the Lord's church. I really saw the real with especially a lot of close friends. And so when it comes to dating and everything like that, and they're getting in relationships, and then as I'm getting ready to take my oath, they're questioning, you really want to do that? You want to do that? Are you sure? Or you never going to get a man because you working in the church, or you dedicated your life and all that other stuff like that. 3 months later, their relationship ain't working out.
Weren't they abusive too?
We didn't have... We're just going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. But it's a lot of pressures. And then, honestly, you got to just block all of that out.
Literally.
You just got to block all of that out because, honestly, your focus has got to be on the right things. My priorities are in the right place.
Right.
And I trust, number one, the Lord.
Right.
I don't trust man. I don't even trust one of those close friends. I trust God. Like,
right.
And I know what the Lord has for me is for me.
Right.
And it's not going to miss me
Right.
if it really is for me. And
Right.
so
It's not going to miss me.
it's not going to miss me. And I really feel as though, and I've gotten asked that at family gatherings, are you dating someone? What's going on with you?
What's up with y'all asking that? Stop asking. I love y'all, but stop asking. When you see the man, you gonna see the man.
Right.
Okay, you don't see the man, then he ain't there.
Exactly.
Okay, listen.
And just really to be truthfully honest, I have come to a place where I ain't even saying nothing to nobody,
Okay.
not even my brothers. They may find out because the Lord might snitch on me or something. But like, they might find out, but everybody's in the spirit, so there's only but so much room I can hide.
Right,
Everybody over here is in tune with the spirit. Yes, Pastor, you are prophetic. You are apostolic. You are, yes, you are.
Yeah,
So
but
it's not
it'll take me a
much.
second, though. It'll take you
Yeah.
a second if you're
But
talking to somebody.
Exactly, but if I feel that they're worthy, then I am going to bring them around my family. I will open up and share. But that's just who I am because I'm not going to waste nobody's time, yet alone my time.
Right.
Discussing about somebody that is not even that's not even worthy. If I'm going to talk about somebody or even bring them or mention them around my family, that's because you have reached a certain level. Like,
Yes.
I have really assessed you. Like, I really feel as though that you are, worthy at that point in time. But if not, then you just got little old me. You just get little old me.
It's funny you mention that. Like when I think about dating, like the number 2 people I think about is my parents, and I'm like, can I bring her to them, especially my mom, because my mom is like Holy Ghost assassin. You know what I'm saying? Like I dare not bring anybody to her, and it doesn't mean perfection. I'm not talking about perfection, but integral, someone who actually knows the Lord, who has a relationship with the Lord, who has values, morals that are rooted in the Word. Like, I know what not to bring to my parents, specifically my mother, you know what I'm saying? So I think about that a lot of times in dating. Like, is this someone who I can really bring to my parents? And not just bring, but be happy, be excited. And I like just dragging in, like, come on, you about to be my parents. But like someone who I would be genuinely excited for my parents to meet. Like, that's one of the things I keep in my mind, you know what I'm saying? And I thank God for parents who just raised me and my siblings in those core values and integrity and honor of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it really doesn't depart from you, you know what I'm saying? As you continue to hold on to it, it really doesn't depart from you. But I really think about that, like, would my mama like her? Nah. Keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things I'm like, it's not going to get past my parents, so I'm not even going to waste my time, so.
And it comes back to asking all the right questions.
Asking the right questions, right,
and
right,
really
right.
observing, like,
Right.
what kind of relationship do you have with your mother?
Mm.
You know, do you honor her?
Right.
You know, what is going on with your relationships?
Right.
Like, how often do you talk to her? Because, you know, I talk to my parents. I live with them, but, like, I'm going to talk to my mother and my father.
Right,
like,
right,
You know,
right.
you can't keep a conversation with them. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, us being singles and things like that, and obviously there's some examples of, good striving marriages that are around us, and things like that. What, as being single, what is something that we take, or that we kind of, I don't know how to say this right, but what is it like with marriage that we are, desiring? You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Like,
That's good.
what is it that, we hope for ourselves, and, if God allows, what is it something that we would hope, for us in marriage, or something that, or something that inspires us about marriage, or something like that?
I think that was kind of easy. I think it's just like having the ability to do life with someone.
Yeah.
And I think, having that companionship through life, because life in and of itself, it's, it has its ups and downs. There's always going to be the good times and the bad times, and it's always good to have somebody there with you through both,
You're
the
right.
good and the bad times.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
To follow up to that, like, for me, like, I want to be able, one of my desires, the reason why I desire marriage is because I want to be able to have the experience of doing life with someone who's my complement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're single for a while, like, hopefully you are getting to know yourself, your idiosyncrasies, your nuances, your ebbs and flows and things like that. But, like, to be in a relationship with someone who compliments me, like, to be in a relationship with someone who is not my complete opposite, but, like, is in a lot of ways my opposite. Like, someone where I'm weak, they're strong, and vice versa, where I'm more introverted and they're extroverted. Like, seeing how differences complement to make this beautiful union. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to experience what that's like. Now, obviously, that comes with, because you're dealing with two different people, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like when it's done well, it's a beautiful thing. So, like, that's what I really want to experience is, like, what would it look like to be in a relationship with someone who complements me and all of who I am, and me to them as well? Like, I know what I offer, but, like, in what ways would I be able to offer myself to them? Like, I just feel like that experience in of itself is, like, it's something that's, like, I really want to be able to, like, live out.
What was that word you used? I'm sorry. Idiosyncrasy.
Idiosyncrasies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the word of the day.
Don't ask me how to spell it.
I think the same. Yeah. Doing life and with someone That's definitely something. That's something I know for a lot of different singles, saved or unsaved. I know that they're waiting for the
Sex?
wedding. Yeah, the wedding night. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
too.
absolutely. I wasn't in that headspace when you asked that question. I was in the real like.
You know, I've been trying to open this up so that EP can be EP. You know
No,
what I'm
listen.
saying?
When you asked that question, I was real in the spirit.
Well,
you know
see,
what I'm saying?
that's why I was trying to
You wanted to know how
answer
to
that.
say it,
You know,
but
I
you
was trying to
tried.
say it
Okay.
because I was like, I know the answer is
Yeah.
sex. You know what I'm saying?
I was real in the spirit when you said that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, sometimes you gotta like. Sometimes you gotta break it open, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, but
yeah.
it's true. I was just hoping that, you know, I was like, I'm not gonna get the, you know, the. You know,
I mean, come
Sex.
on, like.
yeah.
Listen, like I envy married couples. I do, and I feel like if you married and you're not having sex, aside from like
That's
actual
confusion.
reasons, like medical
Oh.
reasons, physical reasons,
Agreed.
aside from that, like it's like having a license, but you're not using it. Like you can drive anywhere you want. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, y'all ain't
You know
doing
what? I'm
nothing.
gonna help you, EP, because I did find something in the biblicals.
In the biblicals?
In the Bible on this one.
Is it
It's
1
that-
Corinthians 7?
No, actually, I think it's an Old Testament passage.
Oh, okay.
Where that the truth is that of course I think it is in the part. Well, of course we understand that the bed is undefiled
Right,
for
right.
marriage, but that the only thing or the only reason why not to engage in that is if one of your partners is consecrating themselves to the Lord,
Prayer, right?
or in prayer.
Yeah.
But that's the only time.
Well, and then Paul says, and after you
Yeah.
both completed that time of prayer, come back together
Come
so
back
that the
together.
devil don't tempt you.
Come back
exactly.
together.
Come back together.
That's
physically.
biblical. I have to say, you know, I'm joking around, but I'm very serious about this because I believe that the church needs to take sex back out of the enemy's
That's
out
good.
of the enemy's hand.
That's good.
And I know that you're like, oh my gosh, you know
How
what I'm
did we
saying?
get here?
Like, how did we get there? But we have to take that
No,
out.
you're right. You're
because
right.
this is the issue. Because God
Created
it.
sex.
He
That's right.
created sex.
That's right.
And because he has created that is under his domain.
That's good.
Everything
That's good.
outside of that domain is false
That's
and
right.
it's sin and
That's
it's
right.
not and it's not profitable.
Right.
And so
right.
what happens is that because I mean we're gonna go here really quickly, where it's almost like this idea of, well, you know, I'm single and yeah, we do have an idea of, you know, getting married, but you know, how's that vehicle? How's that, you know, how's
Test-
that, you
test
know,
drive.
Test
or
drive.
as the test drive, you know, or the scripture says, how's that members?
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
What the members doing?
What they doing? How big is them members? You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing about it is then we act like, you know, like the scriptures doesn't say good things about it, like there's not no Psalm of Solomon.
Come on, a whole book.
A whole book.
Drink of your own cistern.
Yes.
Hello?
Climbing that palm tree. I'm gonna climb that tree.
This is y'all
You
topic,
know what
I
I'm
see.
saying? You know, we we have to take it back.
Take it
because
back.
Because the issue is that we have a lot of people that are struggling in church and things like that, and I'm like, I want to live for Christ, but I got this flesh, or I have to
Right.
go for it.
I was just saying because I saw this meme today, and the meme was when you Christian and on your wedding night, and the couple was just sitting on the bed, just kind of looking at each other, just kind of eyes in space. And I think one of the problems with that is that, like you said, even in church, the talk around sex is always prohibition. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And so when two believers actually get married and are free,
Right. Mm-hmm.
commanded
You're right.
by God to have it, they can't even enjoy it because their perception of it has been so tainted and it's bad.
Right.
And so like when they actually had the freedom to do it, they can't even enjoy it. They don't even want it because their mind is still stuck on, oh, it's bad, don't do it, do it. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I hate to jump on we've done a bad job as a church train, but we have done a poor job of really communicating the beauty of sex in its proper context, you know what I'm saying, and understanding that God created it, so it's good, you know what I'm saying, and so obviously it comes with its boundaries, but like sometimes we harp too much on the prohibitions and we don't talk about the beauty and its purpose. And so then when we get into marriage, you know what I'm saying, we just scared. It's like, why are we scared? Like, we can do this
Because the
freely.
truth of the matter is,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
it's not, because the issue is its beauty is in marriage,
Yes,
not in singleness.
not outside of it, right?
It's
Exactly.
The beauty is there.
Right.
It's the mystery of how the two become one.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
And the changing of
Right.
spirits becoming one.
Right.
It's not for a one night stand.
That's it.
It's not for, we dated for 7 years and I don't have no ring or stuff like that. It's not for that.
Right.
It's not for, we've been together. We just never did the ceremony or something like that. Or I don't want us to change what we got
going
in
on.
our relationship, because we got some paper or something like that. No, you don't understand. Marriage is holy.
Yeah.
And I needed to put that out there for
No, I'm
people
glad you
on
said
singles night, because I don't want people to be like, thinking about the fact like, this is bad. This is, and then what happens is that when people do try it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is good. It's like, no. I know.
They lied to us.
They lied to us. No.
You want to know what's so funny?
Uh-huh.
Sex is one of the charges that the Lord told Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Be
Fruitful and multiply. It was a command. Oh, man.
The earth.
Watch your tone.
The Lord already saw it. He commanded it.
Yeah.
That's why I laughed. I was like, Lord, I just let the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord tell me. And I was like, that's part of the, that's one of the first things I've actually given you guys. Wow, my Lord. And we're His heirs. That's the beauty of it. And to answer your previous question it's about adding to the legacy. I am very proud of the legacy I have. Like, even though if my family is kind of dwindled, and like as a single woman, you do kind of have a little bit of that pressure, because it's just like, I come from a beautiful family, a praying family, lots of men of God, lots of powerful women of God. My great grandmother, my mother, all of them. Like, I call them, they see things. They are seers, and I love it. And like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little ways away from that, marriage and stuff like that, but I do still, there's a part of me, and I still desire, and I know my mommy's watching. I know you pray daily.
She prayed daily for all of us,
Literally, she prays
every day.
For you too.
I see the memes. I see the memes, Mom.
Every day. She prays
does.
for our helpmates to come.
Yeah.
She is
Every
prophesying, and I believe her, and I believe that the Lord will gear us up, and He is gearing us all up for marriage. And even the Lord gave it to pass that marriage is on the agenda. And I haven't forgot about that. And I will remind y'all, marriage is on the agenda.
And I'll remind you.
Marriage is still on the agenda. But I believe that since it is that, these are, we are enjoying our last days, like soon. I do believe that we'll probably not be on this side, but probably on the marriage side very, very soon. And that we're going to have some very fruitful legacies. Legacies. I already see it even with Annie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see it with Pastor back there. With little BJ and everything like that. And we're going to have little mini-me's around here. And I'm looking forward to it, and I'm excited about that.
You bring me to my one of the places that I really wanted us to land is that, I want to take away this idea of it's such of a stigma to be single. Like,
yes.
Like where it's
Stigma for me. It's fun.
I
feel like
Love
you can because I think maybe when I was younger I had that feeling of maybe being single. Oh my God, I'm single. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a thing.
Yeah,
I don't care because you know what? You don't gotta ask. I can do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do. I ain't gotta worry about you, your mama, your auntie, your cousin, I can be me. Like when you are with somebody, you have to be considerate of them.
Right,
You
right.
have to literally be serving. They have to serve you, but you also have to serve them. So
Right.
you can't just be outside doing what you
No,
normally do.
no,
Right, right,
You
right.
can't. You have to literally be conscious of who you have at home at all times.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna enjoy my freedom while I got it.
Come on, sis.
Right, yeah, you got to. You got
But,
to. You got to.
I was gonna say actually that is anybody nervous about marriage? Because like I will say, I think in my mind, of course I want to be married and all that stuff. The only thing that makes me nervous about marriage is that I know that marriage is work. You know,
Yes.
and not everybody's
Yes.
willing to do that
That
work.
work.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
and
Yeah,
so I
that's
think
very
that's
true.
the only thing that's in my mind about being, you know, like okay, I want to be married and all that stuff. You know, mentally you may think you're ready for it, or you may even feel ready for it, but then you actually get into it, you meet your person, and it's oh my god, we're gonna do this, like. But I think that's just like maybe just a natural feeling.
No, I agree.
I
Like
agree with
one
that.
of my, I agree with that fear, and for all Holy Ghost enforcers, I know fear. Don't fear, don't fear. But the reality is that, you know, I look at, and I'm not trying to get dark, but the reality is like I look at the divorce rates. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not even just in the world, but in the church, and I'm just like, yo, like God, like send me above all things, like send me someone who's willing to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the attraction and all those other things are great, you know what I'm saying? But, like, send me someone who's going to be willing to do the work with me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know, no, of course no one goes into marriage with the idea, oh, we're going to get divorced here, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, you know, there are things that you can do to prevent that, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, just having someone to do the work, like you said, like, I want that above all, because I know it's not going to be easy, you know what I'm saying? And so in your mind sometimes it's like, how do you identify someone who's going to do the work? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like a kind of like a ongoing fear, I guess you would say. So,
No,
yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Your thoughts on that and your singleness?
Honestly, I feel as though that I will be a little nervous, but at that point, if I'm at the point of about to say I do, that means I am really assured because it already took me enough to get away.
You are already right about it.
Singleness is a gift, everybody.
It's
It
beautiful.
is a genuine, beautiful gift. The freedom that you get to share to have your own bed, to pay
Yes.
for your own DoorDash and cook your own meals.
Oh, yeah.
And to just have all the love and attention just to yourself. Like, when family members want to bless you, it's just for
It's
you.
just for you.
I'm
For
telling
your
you.
bank account.
The Lord bless you, and the Lord bless you very good. So it's gotta, and I love my parents. Like I genuinely love them. They are the greatest parents in the world, and I give them honor where honor is due. But if I'm gonna leave my nest, if I'm going to
You're
leave
right
my
about it.
father's house, you've gotta come with something for me. I am not leaving my comfortable nest for no mess.
Oh, watch your tone.
I'm not leaving
Somebody-
my nest for my.
somebody
for
put
no
that in
mess.
the chat.
That's the quote of the day. We
That's
got
the
word
quote.
of the day. That's
I'm
the
not
quote.
leaving
I'm
my
not leaving my nest for no
No
mess.
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 Yeah.
Come on,
I'm not
somebody.
doing that.
Hallelujah.
I'm
Put
not.
that in the chat.
Somebody put that in the chat.
I'm
Yeah.
not. My parents have worked very hard to give me
for
the
your
life, and I
best.
can be very easily independent. But this inflation is out there,
Inflation
and
is
it's real.
Come on.
Okay.
It is
It's
inflated.
real.
It's getting ghetto.
And there's so many benefits. You saving up your money to,
That's
for
right.
if you really do want to move out and have a house, you have that option. And I'm very blessed because everybody doesn't have that kind of option. But
Right.
That's true.
but my whole thing is I'm not leaving my nest to come entering mess.
That's
if I
good.
am coming to say I do, that's because you have been tried. You have been through the fire and everything, pressure, everything. Like,
I hear you.
and I'm not saying that there's not more to come.
Right.
But at that point in time, it's about I know you're going to help me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going to help me when we have kids. Like, you're going to be the person that is going to have my back. You're going to be there. We're going to agree. We're walking
Yeah.
together. Because how can someone walk together unless they agree?
Agree.
Yeah.
Come on.
Unless they agree.
Come
So
on.
Unless they agree.
we have done the work in the girlfriend boyfriend situation. We have made some serious declarations, and more importantly, we know that God is our center.
That's it.
And this relationship, we've made a decision to say this is the relationship that is going to give God glory.
That's it.
Yep, that's the key.
Amen.
That's the key on that
Again,
one.
I'll leave my next
One more
on
thing
that.
about singleness. I was everything y'all said. Like, I feel like in these past 3 years, like singleness has had it like a breath of fresh air for me. Like, I didn't realize how good it was. Like,
Yeah.
you know, recently I've been traveling. You know, and just the freedom to travel on your own and just, you know, pay for your own tickets and, you know, not have to worry about, you know, and it's when we say not have to worry about, like she said, like you do have to consider your family when you do those things, but just be able to buy your tickets, hop on a plane, go sightsee and do all these things, you know what I'm saying? Like Brittany said, the bed, like when I go home and get in my bed, like knowing that is mine, you know what I'm saying? My pillows and everything, like just singleness is so beautiful. Like it has so much more meaning now, you know what I'm saying? And it's so good, like it's so good to the point where it's like you said, like I don't waste time comparing. It's just like if it's going to be marriage, it's going to be something that's been assessed and examined and all of that, but I'm not leaving the beauty of it just so I can have a date for next Tuesday, which is Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be worth it, you know what I'm saying? So like singleness, man, it's beautiful, you know.
And
so,
I just want to add one more thing.
Mhm.
We are already technically married to the Lamb of God.
Ah,
We're already married, like to the Lamb of God.
bless.
We are the bride of Christ.
We are the bride of Christ.
And so, even in your singleness, again, remember it is a gift to be single, and be content, and even be mindful about how you be content, because even personally, like there was like not too long ago, I kind of felt like I was putting a cap or a limit on like, is this how far I'm gonna go, God? Is just this it? Like, am I replaceable? No. There is so much more that you can learn of God. Like, I promise you, you don't know everything.
You don't.
I promise you, there is so much more that you can learn of your Father. You are the bride of, you are his heir. There's so much more. And before, and he's going to be able to show you even more. You'll be able to see the kind of person that you're going to be marrying. Like, even if you dive more in, you know, connecting with him, learning of him, I promise you, the more you dive deep in understanding and getting that revelation, the more you're going to be closer to those blessings, all the things that you're really, you know, looking for. God says, seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things, all of this will be added unto you.
Yeah.
So first, you got to seek that. So you got to seek him. And so that relationship will come. All of that will come. But enjoy who you are. And, you know, marriage is a gift, you know, and singleness is a gift too. So really appreciate it.
You learn so much about yourself in singleness.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You
Yes.
really learn like the things you like, because being single doesn't mean you're not dating.
That's
Yes,
true.
that's
That's
true.
true. That's true.
That's
Even if you're
true.
single, you start to date people, and then you start, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Absolutely.
I'm
you
glad you became my
familiar.
boyfriend.
No.
I escaped that, so.
Dodge the bullet.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to do
dodge
that
the bullet.
again.
And
Nope.
also, do you know how much time you have to yourself when you're single? Because
Yes.
when you start dating somebody, there's so much time you have to start committing to
Intentional
that.
relationship.
Yes.
You have to be intentional, and you
Yeah.
have, because then it's gonna be like, oh, you didn't text me for 24 hours, sir. Where was you at? You ain't thinking about me all day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang. And then I'm the type of person, I like to cook. So if I'm gonna cook for my man, of course, then I'm like, dang, I gotta cook. I mean, it's not really that. It's dang, I gotta cook.
Spending more
but
money to cook the
You
food.
have to,
Yeah.
but like that's what I'm saying. You have to like sacrifice more things and more time and put more effort in.
What you gonna
to-
cook from, Jolo?
You gotta make more money.
You might get a plate of jollof rice. You might get some chicken, okay? You definitely gonna get some African food. So that's what it's going to be. But I definitely enjoy my singleness, but I definitely wouldn't mind being in a relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I think you can be content in being single, and I think that you can be hopeful that
That's good.
that there is somebody for you. There is
Right.
the right person for you. You don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, there ain't no good men left. There's no good women left. You don't have to feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
And even if
You
know,
don't, no.
even if you don't get married,
Brittany,
it's
we're going to
still
try to
fine.
stay positive.
We can't say about being single is a gift and it ain't positive. Some of us ain't gonna get married.
You're just going too far because some people really want to get married. It's like,
Some of us wanna
you
get
go too far,
married.
Britt. You go too far. But that's, but you can be content as well as believe and hopeful that, no matter what it is that you see out there on social media where, great looking, females want, 6 figures and above, whatever, they'll never be married. Or those who, when it comes down to, for, you thinking that you're a female and it's like, oh my gosh, all the pastors are taken, or all the, oh my gosh, the millionaires. How am I going to get? How am I going to get there when everybody wants to look at figure size and I'm not that figure or anything like that? Understand and believe. Did I hit everybody?
That's a lot more, but it's okay. We don't need to.
I think there's too many categories.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of categories. It's a lot of
But I
categories.
think we get the
because
point.
I want to make sure that if you are single and you watch this later on, that you understand that number one, you can be content in it because you have God. Because you can't go into a marriage not being content in who you are and who you are in God.
That's it.
So that's number one. And then number two, you can still be hopeful in your singleness and being content in your life, knowing that God understands and knows who is for you. Mm-hmm. And if you could trust his plan, he is going to bring about a great blessing into your life if you trust and believe him for that. What you laughing about?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Bar. She said, "Be content and available."
You do.
That's it.
You gotta be content and available. But let God open up your eyes to what is there. Don't just don't. Try to,
believe God. Go with God.
Go with God.
Go with God.
Go with God. But I hope y'all enjoyed Singles Night, because I surely did.
This was great.
I told y'all that y'all were going to learn so much about us. You can find us also on IG, y'all. Go
You
find
keep
us.
saying that, yeah.
Because I got to tell people, all of us here are single, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. So, I don't know who's going to be watching this soon.
You right.
But this is Singles Night. I hope y'all enjoyed all of what we talked about tonight. I think we hit everything. We
didn't hit everything, but we hit a lot.
We hit a few things.
Hey,
so
we only have but so much.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's a whole
it's such a
lot.
broad
It's a broad topic.
There's so many things.
It's so many things to talk
Because we didn't
about.
even talk about like 50-50, that 50-50
Oh, yeah,
conversation
yeah.
that I hate so much. I don't even want to talk about.
It's a whole lot of
But
things,
like
yeah.
people love rehashing that combo, and I'm over it.
Yo.
Completely over it.
We didn't talk about Christians online dating.
Oh, we may have to come.
Y'all want a part
back.
two?
Y'all want a part
Yeah.
two?
y'all put that in the chat.
Listen,
if
y'all want
would.
part two? Let us know.
Singles, how do y'all put yourselves out there?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know if y'all want a part
Let
two,
us know if you
because
want a part two.
it's a lot.
Yeah, we
There's
got.
literally so much to talk about.
So, but we're gonna park it right here for this Singles Night, and I'm just gonna give you just a few quick announcements. This Sunday, you definitely have to be here Sunday at 11 a.m. for more of the Relationship Playbook. This series is gonna get very good, and I for part two, and also I'm gonna probably I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek.
Ooh.
I think because I think I know the title of next week's message is called "Why Wait."
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I would be here if I were you, because it's gonna be really good, and and Pastor got some really good things. This month we're launching our TCF Kids.
Woo!
So we're all excited about that. They're gonna have a chance to learn a quick 30 minutes. Right after our community prayer time. In the back, we're gonna have great teaching there with worship leader Oticia Hill. I don't know why. I was struggling for a second there. I was like, she's going to do a great job with the kids. You want to
Yep.
be there, and if you have kids, come and bring them on the fourth Sunday. Also, we have couples night in another week. I think that's probably the 27th, I believe. 28th. February 28th. So the couples gonna have their time here, and we're gonna see what's going on with that.
Shout out
also,
to my memories.
Oh, and also connect to us on social media on IG. Transformation Christian F. Really stay up to date with everything that we got going on, our app and things like that. And also, you can give. It takes a lot to do all of this production the way that we do it. And with your help, we're able to really, truly connect people to the transforming power and love of Jesus Christ. Really quickly, tell me what y'all got out of it.
Yes,
Real
tell
quickly
us.
Right here on the chat. We're looking at the chats as it's coming in. So real quickly, give us something that y'all, one of your takeaways from tonight. Outside of my situation. What y'all have? Oh, and also thank you for that reminder. Also, we're going to have a few, we're giving out roses to the women as well as our...
And some little chocolate desserts.
Some chocolate desserts after service. So definitely be here. Really quickly, guys, put y'all takeaways into the chat so we can go ahead and wrap up for tonight. Oh, yeah, and that's going to be nice after service. It's going to be really nice.
Yes, in honor of Valentine's Day. Are y'all looking forward to it? Y'all just kind of like, take it a
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
I gotta work. So. Given Valentine's Day.
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
What about you, Virgo?
Oh, I don't have no Valentine's.
If it was on a weekend,
I don't have to.
Right.
It would have been a little better.
Oh.
It's on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you say you might have had something lined up. It was on a Saturday.
I'm just saying, it might have been a little more fun on the weekend. I gotta go to work. I gotta come home. My son has homework.
Oh yeah.
Gotta do homework. They put him in bed on time. Like,
No,
It's during the week.
I know about me. I'm gonna cook myself a nice dinner. That's the thing nowadays. Love, you gotta love on yourself.
Yeah,
Love
go
yourself.
ahead and
So-
shout out your IG. Go ahead and shout that one out there.
like Mama
I think
said, be
somebody's
content
gonna-
And available.
Somebody might be like, can you make another plate?
I know this. Oh, I'm gonna keep that.
What you about to say?
No, it's inappropriate.
Oh, it is. Y'all ain't getting nothing out of this?
I know. We're waiting for y'all.
Wait for y'all to respond.
Oh boy.
It's okay. Y'all
It's
type.
It's
That's
okay.
all right.
Y'all can
That's
leave
all
y'all
right.
comments
That's
in
all
the
right.
section.
Leave it up in there.
Naisha, what's up?
Hi, Nai.
Hello, how you doing, Di? But
Thank God for replay.
But yes, catch it on demand on YouTube and everything like that. But as always, here at Transformation Christian Fellowship, we want you to remember that
Transformation starts here.
Y'all be blessed.
Have a good night.
Have a wonderful
Love you
rest of
guys.
the week.
See you
Peace.
Sunday.
y'all.